the growing public frustration over the resistance of some ultra-Orthodox leaders to accept coronavirus restrictions. And that did find expression last night on the satirical TV program Eretz Nehederet, or in English, It's a Wonderful Land. Now, one segment poked fun at the elderly Haredi leader, Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky, who last week ordered educational institutions in his sector to remain open in defiance of closure restrictions. And that segment also poked a little fun at Prime Minister Netanyahu's reluctance to more strictly enforce the restrictions or punish those in the ultra-Orthodox sector who defy them. Well, the portrayal of Kanievsky did spur some outrage in the religious community, including Diaspora Affairs Minister Omer Yankelovich, who commented, "The exalted Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky is the rabbi and spiritual guide for many Jews in Israel and around the world. Creating a hurtful and disparaging imitation of him is deeply hurtful to religious sentiments. I call on the creators of the program and Channel 12 not to broadcast or rebroadcast the segment and to preserve the dignity of the rabbi and the vast public that will not be harmed for it." But that segment is still available for broadcast, we should say. Well, for more, let's speak with Tzipi Yarom, a journalist who covers the Haredi community and joining us from Jerusalem. And Tzipi, talk to us about the reaction to this portrayal or this segment on Eretz Nehederet, or even just the word of it, since, of course, many in the community would not be watching that program.
That is true, because actually most of the community wouldn't even watch it, and most of them never heard the name Eretz Nehederet. But those who are outraged by it is actually those more modern people who do watch TV on the internet, and they had seen this segment, this sketch, and some of them responded to it already. But the general feeling is that we're hurt. You have to understand. You said it's maybe define the dignity of a rabbi. In our eyes, it's not. It's just a very disgraceful way of treating someone who we deeply respect for his Torah learning, for what he's achieved in his life in religious terms, in spiritual terms. And this is also why he's our leader, because of all the Torah he's learning. So generally speaking, you don't talk the way they talk about him in this sketch on our Torah leaders. This is just hurting. I don't see anything beyond that. I don't see anything happening beyond that. Just the fact that us who watch those things feel like somebody really didn't respect what we feel towards him. Also, somebody didn't really understand why we listen to him.
Right. Tzipi, so I'm gonna answer about, you're saying you're not seeing more, at least how some of the people who have interpreted. There are those who would say that the sketch, actually the real target is Prime Minister Netanyahu, because the sketch portrayed him as unwilling to antagonize Rabbi Kanievsky because of political considerations, let's be honest, not religious considerations. And also the sketch seemed to poke fun at the role played by his grandson, who is seen as interpreting his comments. And by the way, I have to say, we've had guests from the ultra-Orthodox sector who have also raised questions about whether Rabbi Kanievsky and other elderly religious leaders are being well served by these sort of middlemen that often emerge within their own families. I mean, how do you respond to that?
First of all, I may agree to this criticism about his family and his surroundings, but I do agree that it was targeting Benjamin Netanyahu. I do think so. But all the little things that poked fun at him, this is what we have problem with. You would like to poke fun of Yanki Kanievsky, his grandson? Go ahead, be our guest. I think many of us would even enjoy it. But Yanki Kanievsky is not being viewed as anything close to his grandfather, nothing that is even remotely close to Torah greatness of his grandfather. So he's like a political figure. Want to laugh at him? It's just like laughing at any other Knesset member or something. But laughing at our great rabbi, this is the problem. And again, it's not, I know that they laugh at everybody, but sometimes it's beyond that. It's not okay just because you laugh at everybody that you do it to some figures. And I don't think he would shed any ounce of his dignity because of this sketch. I don't think it hurts us, not him.
Okay, I will just add one more comment, Zippy, that most of the non-Haredi public never heard of Rabbi Kanievsky prior to this whole issue of the schools closing. So this is not just a random attack, but it's directly specific. It's specifically spurred by the decision to keep open the ultra-Orthodox schools during this time. But at any rate, Zippy Yaron, thank you for joining us again on I-24 News.